time, touch pass, he's got a man, Pittman, touchdown! They were wondering about the confidence level because he got beat up a little bit in New York. Talking about Daniel Jones, when would we see it come back out? I feel like this throw tells me he's feeling pretty good about himself.
Absolutely, and what was beautiful for
another opportunity to attack. Look at the field position the Colts have. Play fake to Taylor. Jones to the sideline, he's got a man. Adonai Mitchell, was he in bounds?
Think about it for Miami as we're watching A.D. Mitchell on the sideline. He gets that foot in that knee, which now counts as 2 feet. You got to look at the ball placement and everything, but that's why you go fast. You don't give him a chance to
other time zones this year. Second down off the play fake. Murray looking to throw. Murray looking long to the far side of the field, and it is caught. Marvin Harrison inside the 15-yard line.
Marvin Harrison flexed those new muscles. This is the matchup. Kool-Aid versus Marvin Harrison, and they're just hand fighting. That's legal. Look at him track the ball.
Time here at Foxborough, 7-7, 2nd and 7 for the Patriots. May from the gun. Off the seam, and was that caught? Henry, incredible snatch.
I thought bad choice because
1:07 on the clock. 2nd down and 10 for the Steelers. Rodgers looks. Rodgers throws up in the air. Calvin Austin climbs the ladder. 1st and goal.
Think of the Steelers offense and you think of DK Metcalf going up in Moss and somebody you don't necessarily.
Colts take over at their own 42-yard line. Jones to the air on 1st down. Deep shot for Alec Pierce. Great adjustment. Was he in bounds? I think he was. What a catch by Pierce. Let's see. And that's what you talked about, Andrew. There's the adjustment. Ball in hand. 1 down. 2 down. Absolutely.
beautiful, beautiful.
And here's the thing. Everyone's talking about Daniel Jones.
Chapter 1 for these two coaches and their new franchises. Smith couple of hard fakes, puts a man under it, near side, locates Bowers.
Rodgers, and that ball knocked around and ends up in the hands of Metcalf.
3rd and 20, they mark it at the 25. They bring 6. Smith underneath, and they get it. Thornton.
Reason he bites on a slant and go, and Geno Smith was rolling out.
The healthy Lions.
See what he does this time. Love from the pocket to the end zone, and Kraft has it for a Green Bay touchdown.
We have 2 safeties wide. Go to the middle, and right here you'll see you're going to go ahead and get right up inside there. And what a throw by Jordan Love and Kraft. So put their best player out there, put him on our guys. Well, actually, Sewell got beat a little bit on the first time.
2nd and 12. Now down the field, the pass to the sideline. Amon-Ra is there with the catch.
The Lions play action deep out.
They dragged that left foot.
Yep, and that's why they're trying to get up and snap the ball.
Well, like I said, they really didn't do anything in the first 3 possessions. It was that final possession that got them, got them on the board. Actually gave them the lead for a little bit.
Havenstein with a nice block, and there's the catch, and it's made by Devontae Adams. 44, pickup of 15. What a catch. 1st down, L.A. Holding on to it.
Well, Kevin, we talked to Sean McVay about bringing Devontae Adams in, and you get that kind of talent. He goes, I'm probably bored. I probably bugged him so much.
However I can, because I'm going for the win.
He swinged out into the end zone, wasn't open. Purdy keeping it alive. Brock Purdy lofts one. It is Tonjes. Touchdown, San Francisco. Tonjes gets his chance, and man, does he take advantage of it.
Yeah, so they go empty. I don't blame them for throwing the ball. They're going for the win. And just Purdy's ability to keep the play alive.
A couple plays ago, he's on a knee on the sideline right now. Here they bring it. They go to the end zone.
Wow.
Was that caught?
That's caught. Incredible
Crazy.
catch. I think he barely out.
Look at this.
Let's see. 1 in for sure. 2. His feet were in, but
Third round
His
pick.
tutties just hit outside.
How about this? Are they high on this kid? Look at this.
I mean, his catch radius, that shows off his skill level. I was watching some of the plays and some of the catches he made. It's impressive. They're going to get him time. He just missed a little too much time.
So his first NFL catch.
He is having an opening night. Lamar laying it up for Hopkins. The veteran still got it. DeAndre Hopkins touchdown.
I'll say this. I have had a handshake with that hand right there. It is no surprise that that ball stuck. And if DeAndre Hopkins can do anything for this football team, that's it. Those contested throws, those balls on the sideline, in the end zone.
So plus 19 yards for the Bills, and they started out at 20. And Allen looking for something downfield. Coleman comes down and makes the catch. Great job going up to get a gain. 21.
This was the throw he really struggled with when he was coming out of college. Anything off to his left.
So now 2nd and 10 as Rattler changes things up. Off the play action, Rattler going down the sidelines, one-on-one coverage for Rashid Shaheed, and a one-arm grab for Shaheed with a flag down.
And this is the opportunity that they have when they get the one-on-ones. They missed it last week, so you're going to try to be patient. That was the style of play last week. What a phenomenal catch by Rashid Shaheed. You can see the hold right there by Renardo Green.
May going for the corner of the end zone to Booty. Diving attempt, and he's got it!
And this was the nightmare for us as defensive backs. A receiver that could wrap around us and end up making a play. Because that's exactly what Booty did.
From the 29, a first down throw. Look at end zone. There's Malik Neighbors. There's a touchdown.
When he threw it, I thought he might have overthrown it, but when you can elevate and high point a ball, I'm not sure if you can overthrow Malik Neighbors, and that's now the second time in this first half he's just run by Trayvon Diggs.
3rd and 6. Rattler, pressure coming, floats it down the sideline, one-on-one for Johnson, makes the adjustment, it's a touchdown!
And this is phenomenal. The concentration, the hand-to-eye, and then he gets...
You could get hangry. Ward. Oh, nice touch! Wow! He drops it in the bucket! Io Manor! Wow! What a catch by Io Manor on the sideline. What a ball by Cam Ward.
One of those weapons, Tyreek Hill at the bottom of your screen. On 3rd down and long. Tua taking a deep shot, throwing it down the field for Hill, and he makes the adjustment and the catch. And finally, Tyreek Hill has a catch of more than 30 yards.
Yeah, they're just not playing for the field goal only.
There's Goff. Oh, he does it again. That's last week. Not a touchdown this time.
One-hander, both feet in.
They've been off the charts with explosive plays. After changing the play, Lamar backpedaling. He does this so well and then finds an opening. He runs up and throws toward the end zone. Caught! Touchdown Ravens! What a grab by the veteran DeAndre Hopkins.
But I do agree that he possesses it. But DeAndre Hopkins' left knee is clearly down at that point. So the moment he possesses it, that ball's down by contact and dead. So really good job by replay there. The nose of that football didn't break the plane.
Coach Logan Ryan at Rutgers. They go way back. Browning, pinball. One hand.
Mitchell Tinsley, you want to double Jamar Chase? Fine, I got something for you. The one hand, the 1 foot.
But where's the second?
And the shin. The shin counts as 2.
There you go.
Play clock down to 2. Phillips coming again. May steps up, throws. He's got Stevenson. What a catch! Down the sideline. Stevenson cuts it back, and he's still going. Ramondre to the 20.
Won by May. Watch him step up, shrug things off, and deliver a beautiful ball. And how about the hands? You called it, Andrew, about the hands of Ramondre Stevenson. That's not supposed to be a power back reaching out and taking it out of the air like that.
Fourth down, a little more than 2. Fannon's off to the right. Flacco out of the gun, looking to throw. Throws to the right. It's up for grabs, and it's caught. It was deflected. It was deflected by Humphrey and caught for a touchdown by Cedric Tillman.
You know who's not stunned? Ravens fans, because they're so used to seeing stuff like this.
Oh, my.
Right through Marlon Humphrey's hands, right to Cedric Tillman. You can't make this up.
Seattle avoids disaster on third down. Now play action. Shot downfield. Smith in Jigba's got it against Ramsey. Down to the 10-yard line. And a beautiful touch throw by Darnold.
Well, look at the speed on the edge for Njigba. He fought through the contact, slowed down for the ball.
From the Dallas 48. Wilson protected. Heaving one. Wants Neighbors. Malik Neighbors. Touchdown Giants. He dropped it in the bucket from 48.
I mean, look at the concentration. He can't even see.
He's blindfolded.
He's blindfolded. His mouthpiece is bouncing around.
No biggie.
He was 8th in the league in rushing last year. Better than 1,200 per game. Boy, Bryce just gets it out, and it's a one-handed snatch. Unbelievable. Bryson Tremaine reaching back.
Yeah, it was a fake to the running back to Chuba Hubbard. Look at that catch, by the way.
Mahomes, pressure throws. Great catch, Kelsey. Somehow picked it up. He's got a first down. Oh, man, that thing was on the ground that he picked it up.
From Mahomes back to... There you go, Kelsey, showing that handoff. Watch this. He goes out, then in. He goes, oh, no, I'm not going that way. I'm going the other way. Good luck, Makuba.
A week ago, 7 catches. That draws the attention of the defense, so they've been dialed in on trying to limit him.
1st and 10. Jones going deep. Oh, he's got him. He's got Pierce. Caught. Flag. Moss. To the 21.
Well, Pierce just runs right by him. Has a couple of steps, but has to come back for the ball.
Kept that concentration.
The 1st and 20. 5-man pressure this time, but it's picked up. Mahomes loaded up, going deep. Has Thornton again. This time he's got it. Touchdown.
He's got Thornton on the left side of the screen, all by himself deep. Patrick bought enough time to make this throw.
At some point, he's one-on-one, and you got to take advantage.
McCarthy looking that way, throw in, it's caught by Naylor for the first down. Into Falcons territory at the 42-yard line for Jalen Naylor.
Jordan Addison has been suspended for 3 games. Typically, he would be the guy that could...
Marks, a rookie running back from USC, now in the backfield next to Stroud. On first down, end zone shot. Collins, he's got it. Touchdown! See if he was indeed inbounds.
Before he took the head coaching job in Atlanta. Rodgers, timing route to the end zone. It's caught by Metcalf. Touchdown, Steelers. Highlight reel for Rodgers. Terrific grab.
DK can put it on his highlight reel too. What a grab.
Working against Carlton Davis.
Both feet down, the catch.
2nd and 14 after the penalty. Geno Smith has protection, and sliding is Trey Tucker inside the 25. What a grab.
A little bit of rhythm right now for Geno Smith and this offense.
Yeah, they want him to be patient.
The backs back at 2nd and 10. Mayfield looking for Abuka.
Oh, what a
catch. He hauls it in. He was matched up with Sauce Gardner. What a catch.
What an amazing catch. Emeka Abuka going up against one of the best corners in the league. That is good coverage, and that's a great throw.
Enough to get Sterling Shepard free.
1st and goal, slant, touchdown. Mike Evans.
the awareness of Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans. Who was not covering that time, Kenny?
A 46. This pass is high, pointed by McMillan for the first down.
Like he jumped right over the top. Billy Bowman. That 33? Yeah, 33, Billy Bowman.
A.J. Dillon replaces Saquon Barkley on 2nd and 13. Hurts down the sideline. There's Brown. He's got it against Durant.
Yes, you don't have to get that complicated, right? Put him outside the numbers. You pretty much, whether it's zone or man, he's going to be one-on-one with the corner. And just let him go do what he does best. He's a vertical downfield threat. All of a sudden, the defense takes the field with a little more energy.
Blitz coming. And getting to Stafford, who got rid of it to Puka Nacua. He's got it for a first down. Stafford just barely gets rid of the ball, and then Nacua just barely catches it.
Please reset the game clock to 44 seconds.
Yeah, so the ball was ticked. Let's see.
Replay assist has gotten involved and overruled that.
One of the worst things was Cincinnati coming in after Atlanta ran on Minnesota. They were not going to allow that to happen today.
Here's Brown and got hit when he threw it. Good catch, snatched out of the air by Chase.
Gets around him. Little miscommunication. Thinking it's cover 2, and there wasn't. Ball's a little underthrown, but guess what? If you're going to underthrow to somebody in the National Football League, it's probably Chase or Jefferson. And
Rodgers dials it up. End zone. Touchdown. Calvin Austin. Pittsburgh goes in front.
It's a back shoulder fade. You hear about it all the time. You're running a fade route. Rodgers puts it on the back shoulder. Austin just turns his body a little bit. He can see it. The DB can't. Touchdown Steelers.
And the Rams get pressure. This is their strength, the pass rush. Here they come after Hurts. It's picked up. It's floated to the outside, and Brown used his strength to rip it away. A.J. Brown.
The ball floats a little bit, but I mean, how many times have we said this? You've got one of the biggest, most physical receivers in the league. Give him a chance. And
4th and goal. Taylor looking end zone. He throws. Touchdown! Alan Lazard makes the catch back in the end zone.
There's Alan Lazard, and you're going to watch Tyrod buy as much time as he can. Steps up in the pocket. Everyone starts to go on him, and he throws it right there for Alan Lazard.
On 2nd and 10, Mayfield's pass is caught. It's Ibuka. It's first down at the New York 38.
And it makes sense. Emeka Ibuka has been phenomenal for Baker Mayfield and its offense. Mike Evans isn't there, so now you're going to go to your new #1 option, Emeka Ibuka, with a nice route and catch.
Darnold to the air, and he fires to a wide open man. It's caught. That's the tight end, A.J. Garner.
Watch how Sam Darnold gets it, and as soon as he gets back in his drop, you're going to see these guys go, hey, pause it right there. They get to empty, and then they're all spread out.
Seattle inside the red zone. Darnold back to the air, throwing end zone for Horton. Touchdown!
And system on Friday, and then they demonstrated it. Tight formations makes the defense come in tight to where you are, and then when you break out and expand them, there are often open holes and slots horizontally for you running routes, and Horton took advantage of it.
Because they can dictate in terms of pressure and those kinds of things, but he loves calling things on 1st and 2nd down.
There's a 2nd down. Got away from Tillman. And caught! What a grab! Flag thrown! Johnston inside the 5. Who has become an offensive force.
Well, Johnson just working across, and then he sees Herbert start to scramble, so he peels it upfield. They're going to call the penalty on Moss, but Johnson, great adjustment. This is where the size comes into play, and Herbert realizing what he has in a receiver in Johnson, put it up high. And Johnson just coming down with it.
Pass interference.
Looking to capitalize again where they haven't so far in this game. On the fake, Prescott rolling, floating. Pickens one-hander. Touchdown, Cowboys.
He
kind of lollies right to sleep again. Nope, I'm going to go inside. Oh, no, I'm going to go back out, and let me just stick that big palm up there.
Showing the decibel meter on the scoreboard, pumping it up with 2 on the play clock. Rattler rolling right. Throws to the back of the end zone. He's got a man down there. Did Jack Stoll get his feet in? He did.
I know the scoreboard, not a big deal, but a nice play. And there's the foot. There's the foot. Jack Stoll's supposed to be a blocker.
It's 4th and 2 for the offense. Jones takes a shot. It is Pearsall. Did he hold on? He did.
Well, they're going with tempo, and Ricky Pearsall's banged up after a beautiful catch.
Second down and 6. Herbert to the air. Pipkins the block at the right tackle. Got away from Allen. Herbert alive and the throw. Caught. Touchdown! Touchdown! Allen! What a play!
To get away. Watch Zach Allen here. Right up the middle. He's got a clean shot at him. Herbert steps up in the pocket and throws him away with one arm. And then the throw on the run.
Goff protected. Fires, and another catch for Williams.
Whether it's him or Aaron Glenn, he learned from 2 aggressive defensive coaches.
2nd down and 6. Sideline, Hopkins for 1st down.
Well, he does such a great job. Once he gets to the sidelines, he just stood there. You know, a lot of younger receivers will take off running.
Since last year, just under 1 on average throwaway a game. Number 2 in the league to Baker Mayfield. And now on 3rd down, Andrews! Diving catch! Touchdown, Ravens! St. Brown in motion. Goff for St. Brown. He is there, and he's got it.
Hamilton, the safety, is watching as well. And he has to hold him to keep him from going over the top.
Jerome Ford in the backfield, 3rd down and 5. Browns must get to the 43. There is a flag and a diving catch made by Isaiah Bond. A couple of penalty markers were thrown.
8th overall pick, the rookie McMillan leads all rookie receivers in yardage for the end zone. Open, reaching back and grabbing for a Carolina touchdown. It's Tommy Tremble.
And we're running man-to-man coverage, so we're going to get a pick here on that, and Tremble going to go back to the end zone. Watch this pick coming up right here. Christian.
2nd and 16. Penix, pump, Penix, throw, rainbow, caught by London, flagged out.
Junior, no deep balls previously, no problem.
A.J. Brown, bottom of your screen, does not have a catch yet today. 3rd and 5, 4-man rush. Hurts looking, throwing. Devontae Smith holds on, and it's 1st and goal for the Eagles.
To escape to his left, and there's Devontae. He's got a little hitch route right over the ball, but then scrambles. And
5 carries without losing it. Henderson has had 4 carries. May open, sliding at the 40. Catch made by Kayshon Boutte.
You know, it's really nice when you have that opportunity to have the protection. That's where it all starts. And, you know, I mean, they just drop coverage on Boutte.
Here are the Bucs. They need something on offense. Just 2 field goals, including a 65-yarder today. Now it's Mayfield looking. Rolling. Going deep, has a man. Ibuka! He's got it! Touchdown, Tampa! From 77.
2nd down and 8. Fake to Judkins. Flacco fires downfield, and it is caught by the rookie Isaiah Bond.
There's Bond, and he's just running a streak going against Amik Robertson. We just talked about how well he's been playing, but Isaiah Bond goes up and makes a tremendous catch. These rookies for the Browns are playing outstanding football against a very good Lions team.
Down to 3:18 and counting left in the 4th. 7-point game. Rushes on. Penix unloads. A low throw. Drake London going downstairs, and it's a catch. Brilliant. Wow. London's calling with a highlight.
On 3rd and 5, Purdy floats it. Pearsall looking for separation. Did he hold on? What a catch inside the Jacksonville 40. Slick Rick living up to the name.
Ricky Pearsall one-on-one. You saw him run the...
Fire the pass, over contact, defense, number 30. Penalties decline. Roll the play, the first down.
Well, he ran through the contact. We saw him earlier in the game scare you with his speed and then slam on the brakes against Travis Hunter. This time, he just takes off with a quick move underneath and runs right by Campbell. That's their number one corner. You could see the confidence for Pearsall. With his playing experience, he's got to be smart with the football right here.
And Lawrence is going to throw a pass for Hunter. Did he hold on to that one at the 35? Watch Nakua in motion at the bottom of your screen. Stafford with pressure coming late, looking for Nakua down the sideline, and Stafford drops it in. Nakua finishing it off.
Yeah, they're finding that matchup with Xavier Howard. You know, we talked about it before where it was just tough. He turns him around right there, and he loses that step. And let me tell you, Matthew Stafford is not going to miss Puka Nakua very often when he's got that separation.
Lone tackle so far.
Purdy floats it for Jennings, who had to reach up to rescue it. Tyson Campbell makes the tackle.
This was the man coverage switch up, so you see Campbell on Jennings. Classic Jawan Jennings, moving the chains. That's what he does for this team. He's done it his whole career, especially last year when he was the focal point. But those are dangerous throws because that ball is awfully close to going to Rayon.
29, Prescott putting it up for Pickens. Safety coming over. Did Pickens bring that down? Remarkable stuff. He got it.
Let's see. Does he get it done? The catch. Did the knee land first? That first foot was down, and then the second toe got down, didn't it? Let's see.
Yeah, you're right. They will go for it. Prescott throws it in the middle, and it's caught for the first down.
You have no idea how good this throw is. So he's going to come across here, and watch how low this ball is. It's exactly what you want as a receiver going across the middle, especially on 4th down, because nothing matters but the catch. Just perfect.
Prescott gets away. Parsons chasing him. Puts it up for grabs. Coming back is Tolbert. Did he keep his feet in? Yes, he did. Ruled a catch on the sideline.
Dolphins trying to pay off a long drive, and it's caught back in the end zone. Touchdown. Darren Waller is first as a Dolphin.
Watch him. Let's see. He's got it secured. Right foot.
1, 2.
What a great catch by Waller. There's the size, though, right? We stay down in the red zone.
On 3rd down and 2, Knicks, end zone, Sutton. He's got it. Touchdown, Denver. What a catch.
Maybe one-on-one again.
Crowding the line here. They do bring pressure. Fields launching to the end zone again. Jump ball. Garrett Wilson. Touchdown. Douglas again on the coverage. Ball, does he have control of it? It's still moving, One hand.
The NIL era, and now making his first NFL start in London.
What a catch.
And the catch is made by Njoku inside the Vikings' 10-yard line. Our opening drive for the Ravens. Texans already with a 7-0 lead. Rush, shotgun, Rush is on. Rush hangs in there. It's complete. DeAndre Hopkins, the former Texan.
DeAndre Hopkins, he even gets held. No problem. He gets off of it, and he's got some of the...
Defense number 4. Penalties decline. Result of the play is a first down.
First down here for Baltimore at the 40-yard line. Fake the handoff. It's a deep shot. Rush looking, and Zay Flowers turns around, gets up, and gets away. Flowers is tackled inside the 5. Finally, a big play. 56 yards on the completion.
You'll see a stutter go here from Zay Flowers. Just pats his feet long enough to get Derek Stingley to stop his feet and then runs past him.
That was a lot of fun. Saints and Chargers, 3rd down and 10. Wentz. Jefferson, he's got it! Justin Jefferson makes the catch in Browns territory.
In time, over the zone, and that's one thing Carson Wentz talked about when he was with the 49ers, when he was with... Yet Carson Schlesinger went a little too far, and then Hawkinson went right underneath where he was.
Gain of 15, his 6th catch today, and now Jefferson able to make the catch. Matched up with Denzel Ward. Another Vikings first down.
Carson Wentz, recognizing last time it was one-on-one, no help. Same thing happens here.
3rd down and 7. Dart. Waddle's got it. Oh, he was on his fanny when the ball was in the air. He got back up and made a play.
Tua right now, anticipatory thrower, just pulling it on the curl. Look at him fighting, scrambling, finding the ball, and getting the first down.
Tagovailoa to the end zone. Achan, did he? He did! Touchdown, Miami!
Dead foot, watch his feet here. He goes up, first foot down, and just go dead. Go limp right there. Limp, in, touchdown, Miami.
Tyreek Hill couldn't have done it any better. Young, he can run. Not anymore. It's caught. It's caught, first down. McMillan, his 3rd catch of the day. Caught, back of the end zone. Xavier Legette.
Outside one-on-one, and watch this throw. Normally you loop that to the end.
Young, caught, it's Horn! Who knew? Jimmy Horn getting it done.
They're just going to get a levels route, right? They're going to have a low guy, a medium guy, and the medium guy, Jimmy Horn, and he got grabbed a little bit by Rasul Douglas, but he fights through the grab and...
Moving at the line. There is a flag down near side Flanoy. Oh, what an adjustment. Flanoy inside the 20-yard line. He got around Adams. It's a first down, Dallas.
That's just playing ball. Great job there by Hoffman, the center. So the snap there, you see how Dak kind of bobbled it? So Hoffman feels that guy cross the neutral zone. So it was not the wrong decision, just a really good design by the Dallas defense.
Prescott loads up. Pickens, hand fighting into the end zone, touchdown!
It's one catch leading up to that, but it's then the splash negatives for this Jets defense. We've talked about it all day. Hand fighting, 2 big physical long athletes going at it, and that's kind of the Jets in a nutshell. You play well all game, but it's that one bad play this time by Sauce Gardner. And
Jones set to throw. He can run it. He can throw it. And diving in the end zone. Touchdown, Colts. Michael Pittman.
Daniel Jones outside the pocket. And because they're bringing the pressure, at least more one-on-one opportunities. And Pittman looking wide open in the back of the end zone. Able to uncover.
Jonathan Taylor comes back in. Fake to him. Daniel Jones is throwing. And open deep. He's got it. Inside the 10-yard line is Ashton Doolin.
I mean, you got to love this. Be able to get to the football. Good job high pointing the football, controlling as he completes the process of the catch.
Seconds to go in the 3rd. Oh, tough catch. Boy, did he make that one.
And at this heat, you've been wearing down this defense. Are they going to continue running the ball?
And try to go up top on first down. Down the field, it is caught, plucked out of the air by Ingram. Nice catch.
I would love to see a little bit more running and a little bit more creation in the passing game on the run from Murray in this game.
Murray goes play action, turns his back to the defense for a moment. Murray launches one towards the end zone. It is caught. Marvin Harrison in this city have been waiting for between these two.
Well, and how good must this feel for Marvin Harrison? There's been a lot of talk about him, the way he started that game in the Seattle game, but then he came back and he really finished strong. Just a beautiful job of winning on the double move, and this is why you go out and you draft him.
And Darnold's picking up right where he left off coming into this game.
Fake to Walker. Chased over there by the and there's a flag down. What a catch made by Young! Holy smokes! Has improved from last season, if you can believe that, to this. Second down 2. Fake to Walker. Look at the time. Going deep, and he's got him! Smith and Jigba! What a catch!
When Darnold lets it fly, and then it's a matter of can he locate the ball? Winfield never is able to get his head around to locate it. He's in position.
And now, to your point, can at the very least run out the half without giving it back. Here's Daniels. Lets one fly. Going deep. Luke McCaffrey.
He's got it! Oh, what a catch! That any corner in the league has had this far. He reads the post. He's actually in great position to catch it.
Man.
And make a play on the ball.
Everybody's run plan is saying, hey, we're going to double number 98, and everybody else is going to be one-on-one, and he still plays hard every snap.
Boy, was this a catch. McBride on a third down for the Cardinals.
Yes, so much is just keep your leverage. Man, what ball placement.
First down and 10. Surveying the situation, nobody open, in some trouble. Browning on the move, throwing for the end zone, looking for Chase. He pulls it in, touchdown! Oh, what a catch by Jamar Chase for 6.
To accomplish.
So now 3rd and 10. Browning down the sideline. Yosibas jump ball, and he makes the catch. Avonte Maddox in coverage. That's an outstanding play.
It's been a combination of receivers not catching it and then missing the easy ones to his open targets.
Ward this time is protected up the middle, and it's caught. Ridley on a perfectly thrown pass from Ward.
Perfectly done. He's watching Budda Baker. Watch Budda. He's going to settle down on this in cut, and then that's the opening, and he puts it right. Look for them to take a shot at the end zone if you're the Cardinals.
Cam Ward, little wobbly pass towards the end zone. It's caught. That's a completion to Gunnar Helm.
What wasn't pretty about that? I mean, look at where he put that ball. Right over the outside shoulder. I mean, you can maybe...
that's just not a perfect spiral, but you're right. That was on the money.
Well, he's got to feel a lot better as this game is worn on. And that's a credit to Jake Browning, the way that he is hung.
Patriots need to get to the 20. Buffalo brings a late blitz. May escapes. Throws on the run again. Sideline. It is caught for the first down.
He's at his best, and he was forced to do that. There it is. And you'll see exactly why he was flushed out. Fake it, drop out, and then come get May. He saw it coming right at him, out of the pocket again, and over, Mike. When he's outside the pocket, he makes those plays. When he's late inside the pocket, that's where he struggles.
Gets better and better. Hopefully he'll be okay and be able to return.
Extra man on the rush. Lawrence is able to float it. And Hunter makes the catch. In his rookie season, 44 yards.
Well, he's one of those guys who he has such great ball skills, whether he's on defense or on offense.
Fake it to Williams. Prescott loading up. Floats it over the top of the defense. George Pickens with a ball in hand, then a hurdle, taking it down inside the 10. 31-yard gain, Greg.
All right, so this is a tough man matchup. So he's up there in press. Big body, George Pickens. He's long, he can run. J.C. Horn tries to undercut that ball. Just a fantastic throw by Dak Prescott. He throws that ball any lower, it's probably a pick. Good ball placement, then just look at the athleticism of Pickens.
So offset the backs on 2nd down and 4. And play action.
Brissett with pressure up the middle, stands in the pocket and a sliding grab down to the Colts 40-yard line. Trey McBride. This should show a little bit more of the story.
3rd down and 6. Gainwell in there, low snap, handled. Rodgers, timing route, on the sideline, and it's hauled in! Metcalf!
You bring in Tyson Campbell. He played on Monday night.
So inside of a minute now left in the quarter. 1st and 10 Patriots as they work from the Saints 25. May again going to throw towards the end zone, and it is caught. Ooh. Touchdown! Strong. A 25-yard touchdown catch. Wow.
That's Hunter in motion. Exceptional audio pre-snap as Lawrence. Floating one, open, and the catch. Let's check his feet. Brian Thomas Jr. hauls that in.
Oh, it's going to be the Hoosiers again. Yeah, it's going to do it again. They're doing it all over again. Blitz coming on 3rd and 4. Brissett, it's picked up. He throws over the middle, and a leaping grab is made by Marvin Harrison Jr.
3rd down and 10. Tua taking a deep shot, looking for Waddle. Waddle's down there, and he holds on, going to the ground.
Because you see him juggling it. Did he possess it before he's over the sideline sliding? Ball still in the air. There's the catch. And that's going to be a clean catch, folks.
But one of the really good teams in the NFL this season. Jones looking, fits it in. Oh my, Alec Pierce with the catch, and it's 1st and goal Colts. To corral it in for the catch. So many things could have gone wrong there for the Colts, Daryl. Cardinals all around, ball on the fingertips of Alec Pierce.
Moving to the top of your screen. Lawrence is going to have to get rid of it, and caught! He's headed to the end zone! Touchdown, Jacksonville, Tim Patrick!
Well, hey, you got to play through it, right? Job now, I just praised him. He gets tossed around a little bit, but he quits playing right there. You see him quit playing? He thought it was sack.
Tua, that pass deflected, but still caught. Owe got a hand on it, but Waddle with another juggling catch.
On this play, we saw it earlier on the deep ball where he had to adjust and then make the juggling catch. This time, off of the tip ball with a defender on his back and Tony Jefferson.
That you have to be aggressive and try to pick up this 1st down. If you're the Patriots, watch the middle.
Saints rush 4. May throwing comebacker. Was it caught? It's Booty. He's got it. Of 21. Control, 2nd foot.
2nd and 1. Brissett looking that direction, but this time it's Wilson. Jump ball, he's got it! I mean, you wonder if you're doing that just to give this all the room that you want, right? You pull the linebacker up, you can see that opens up that whole area on the outside.
6 in the secondary, 3rd and 10 for Love. Here comes Hendrickson. There goes Love. Downfield, caught by Golden. What a catch! A 36-yard completion.
And Kevin, after overthrowing the last one, you could not have thrown this ball any better than Jordan Love did right there. Excellent coverage by Taylor Britt.
He's had one 300-yard passing game. That was at Dallas in that tie a couple weeks ago. Down the middle he goes. Nice looking catch. 24 for Green Bay and a 1st down.
Well, they catch the Bengals in a cover 2. You take the tight end, you get a vertical to the outside to keep pressure on the safety.
And when you win, solves a lot of stuff.
2nd and 11. Going for a big ball. Down the field. He's got an open target. Oh, what a catch! Touchdown, Tampa Bay! Taz Johnson has his 1st NFL touchdown and a magnificent flip to go with it.
This is a simple seam route from the middle. And he's saying, hey, I'm open. He had a different route, and you have to adjust there.
If you're going to have it, this is probably the best way to dial it up. 4th and 5.
Well, it looks like man-to-man coverage. You got Chase up top.
5-man rush. Flacco to the air and caught. Wow! Chase with the touchdown reception. Doubled and grabs a 19-yard strike.
You got to leave guys one-on-one, and Nixon's in great position. How it's not a penalty, I don't know, but he comes up with the catch on the back shoulder throw. Really only has one arm available.
immediately count on James Cook for that. They fake it to him, and Allen looks downfield and launches. Palmer's got it. Josh Palmer on the first play with a huge strike down near the 30. Picked up 46 and beat Mike Hughes.
Pretty much brand new coming out of the box on game day.
Second down and 10 now. Blitz. End zone. Moore. Spinning try. Touchdown is the call. Here's the end of it. And that right leg gets down. One knee equals 2 feet.
It's a 1st and 5. Nix and caught by Sutton. Got it on the side. Newman was there. Quick throw for Adams. Touchdown, Rams.
This is what Devontae does. Nobody better in the National Football League.
Stafford fakes it to Adams.
Looking for the jam here on the bottom of the screen. Uses his hands to throw off the DB, create a little separation, a good throw up and over, and being able to track it. This is what he does. He scores touchdowns. All right, well, maybe this is it.
Oh, Blake Corum's behind Stafford, and he's throwing for it. Gets Adams. And we have history.
You like it, you throw it, and Devontae does the rest, going up high, back over the top of the DB for the catch. And
3rd and goal for New England. May, end zone, Hooper! Touchdown! Austin Hooper!
Trying to recover down here at the bottom. We're going to look at Snead. He's right here. He's looking at Hooper. He loses track of him in this zone, tries to catch up, and this is a fantastic play by Austin Hooper. You teach guys to make sure they end this half with the ball.
May taking a deep shot down the field. Booty is down there! Touchdown! 2nd and 10. Looked like movement early on the right side as he throws to the end zone, and it's Olave leaping high for 6.
The third guy, but this is a heck of a throw by Spencer Rattler. Now, we have not seen him play even close to what we saw.
Not going to keep 2 safeties back. First down. And rolled out with it. Cross the body. Look out. Caught somehow. That's Worthy. It was a jump ball. And Worthy continues, extends. Listen, you've mentioned Kareem and Worthy in the last 2 sentences.
May threw it behind Douglas, who made the catch.
That was unbelievable by Demario Pop Douglas. Reaches back with the right hand. That is going to be a still shot that he hangs up in his room one day, sliding on the ground and just reaching back and snagging that one. Unbelievable catch.
3rd down 8. Fires, and let's see over there with Mike Jackson on the coverage. They're going to say catch made by Josh Reynolds. Near the first down marker at the 30. You need to really get beyond that.
Mike Jackson just all over him. How you came away with that football.
I thought Jackson might have.
I thought Jackson had it, and he just kind of laid it into the breadbasket of Reynolds. And
31-6. As the Browns about to get their second win of the year. Quinn Ewers just tosses it up, giving his guy a shot, and they come down with the football. Eskridge.
What a catch.
Number 3 quarterback to the number 2 man today. They pick up 40.
Oh, that was a great catch.
3rd down and 4. Brissett throws, and it is complete for a first down. Michael Wilson.
Parsons, as he's going to get inside, still create pressure, but Jacoby Brissett standing tall in the pocket, throws a beautiful pass to Michael Wilson. I like the ball placement. Michael Wilson, a big target, big receiver, throw it up there. So Evan Williams,
they're running 53% of the time, which is number 1 in the NFL the last 3 weeks.
They had 172 against the Eagles last game. Here is a 2nd and 10. The dancing dart chased by Benito. Throws, and it's caught. Robinson What a grab. Snares it out of the air.
There you go. I know you do. I do. Here the Cowboys take over. Great field position. Prescott lofting it up. George Pickens. Oh, come on. What a catch.
Yeah, what a catch. Perfect throw. And we've seen that from George Pickens. Those aren't the ones, actually, I will say this. That's a great catch.
Ready. Dobbins a block to the end zone, deflected, and did Franklin get it on the ricochet? Touchdown, Denver.
It's a play knocking it away from Sutton right at the goal line. He's going to 14. The ball's batted up in the air.
Scattered with the back, 3rd and 17. And he'll cut a pass, caught on the ricochet. It's grabbed here by the galloping Johnson. He'll be chased to the play by Barron. Did he get in? He did. Touchdown.
Well, just like we saw a second ago when Franklin got the ricochet off of the Sutton at the goal line and he was able to finish the play, Johnson never gives up.
Nix to the air, Bowles with the block. Nix going long and caught by Mims. First down, 38 of the New York Giants.
Teams have gone after Phillips all season long. He's given up some yardage, this time throwing a back shoulder.
3rd down and 10. Over the middle, wide open. Another high throw, but a great catch by Tez Johnson.
Four-man pressure, Jones for Kittle in the end zone, and it is caught! George Kittle, surrounded by Texans, snares the touchdown.
Don't play conservative, don't play not to lose. Just turn it loose and try.
Back-to-back games for the first time since 2017. They have 0 on the board right now. Huntley deep drop, he'll throw it, it's a low throw, and handled cleanly by Bateman.
They certainly did. Let's take a look here to make sure he caught it. Both arms underneath it, secures the catch.
3rd and 17, longest 3rd down of the day. Jones looking for the end zone. It is caught by Jawan Jennings at the 1. 26, and it's 1st and goal.
We saw the catch by George Kittle for the touchdown at the end of the half. Here's another tremendous catch.
Ruin what you're doing right now. You've gotten here because of the work you've put in. Let's keep doing it.
And a touchdown catch, David Njoku.
My goodness, and you're going to watch, Njoku just gets in front right here around the linebacker.
Here's Hurts, blitz coming. Hurts sees it, loading up, going for a deep ball. It is caught!
Needed someone to step up in the absence of A.J. Brown. Dotson goes over the top of Black, who's...
They just believe they're wired differently, they're coached differently, different culture. Williams, he chucks it downfield.
Wow.
A one-handed grab by DJ Moore.
Bounce.
The huddle.
Wow, what a catch.
Those are the numbers he likes to follow.
Jones looking for Warren, and he holds on.
Jason, did Xavier Woods get caught just in between ball or man?
Amir Abdullah in it, running back. And Jones to Pittman. Tipped up in the air, and Pittman still got it.
This is a big reason why you hear about hands catching. You want to catch it hands first. A lot of times if it's on, Kevin Winston's on the spot, but Porter leading springs Tyler Warren.
Jones looking deep down the field, and it is caught by Pittman. Catch on the drive.
Defense. Sometimes it just feels like everything's going your way. This is incredible by Michael Pittman Jr.
Nix down the field, end zone bound. Oh, what a catch! Drafted him in the 3rd round out of Illinois.
What a throw, and you're free with a guy jumping off sides, and they're attacking Bridges a little bit, but this is outstanding job by Bryant to come down.
Here's the 2nd and goal. Pass pulled down. What a catch by Lamb. 3rd and goal.
If this ball would have been on him right now on the outside, it's a touchdown. Incredible catch by CeeDee Lamb.
Dak needs a big play. 3rd and 12, and he gets it. It's Pickens.
And who did he go after?
Yep, Abrams' drain is starting to get picked on this side a little bit.
I'm telling you.
How a game is operated and how it's managed throughout, so you know what the expectations are of your head coach, your general manager, and everybody else underneath you.
Ward with a beautiful pass.
It's the only thing I regret is not bringing a championship in the Super Bowl to Dallas.
Here's a 2nd and 10. As the ball's headed to the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown by Tolbert.
Mariota with room out to his right. Tranquil cannot bring him down. And along the sideline, McCaffrey. By McCaffrey along the sideline.
Yeah, that's just that's an excellent job by him, just knowing exactly where he is.
Play clock at 2. Mariota just lobs it up for McLaurin. Did he get him down? Incomplete, out of bounds.
I don't know. It's a question of whether or not the right toe. The left foot's down. He's got it. That looks like a touchdown.
Troy, I agree with you. It looks like he has control with both feet down. I think it's catch.
It opens up that defensive playbook for that guy there, Spagnuolo.
3rd down and 8. Blitz was coming, and this one is caught by McLaurin. And it's a catch.
It's an incomplete pass.
Well, this is interesting with the right leg coming down inbounds.
You got the knee down.
Troy, I like that as a catch. Item control. He survives the ground after having a body part inbounds. He doesn't lose it till much later. To me, that's a catch.
I do too. It looks to me like a catch and just really a great play. And that's excellent coverage by Trent McDuffie.
Quick throw. McCarthy going end zone. Jefferson! One-hander! Touchdown, Minnesota!
Actually, a run play that's called. They decide to throw this little fade, and who needs 2 hands?
Based off the parameters that you just laid out for us, Mikey. Thank you. 2nd down and 9. Young down the middle into a tight window, and it's ripped away by the rookie McMillan.
The ball actually went through his hands. It's not bad coverage, but just the strength at the catch point.
Penix to the air, and he fires one in. What a catch! Going to the ground is Kyle Pitts at the 30-yard line. He's covered 15 yards. That one goes for 20+.
Look at the catch right here by Kyle Pitts, extending out with that right arm.
Penix looking to throw to the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown.
Kyle Pitts at tight end, and you playing against him, and sometimes his size was just too much, right?
Here's McCarthy. Pressure coming. Zips one downfield. It is caught! That's the first incompletion for Love today. So they get a 3rd and 12 here. He's going to do it again. Deep shot. That ball is pulled in.
Nick Scott gets his eyes lost in the backfield, and then as far as downfield threats.
As the number 2 against a very aggressive defense, so important to ease him into this.
Pressure coming. Mills floats it down the sideline, dropping it into Nico Collins.
Yeah, you get one-on-one on the outside working against Riley Moss. Let's just take a shot. And Davis Mills is going to be aggressive. When I say easing in, that's you having trust.
I'm trying to single-handedly make it not cool anymore. I think it's working.
First down. Herbert going to the end zone for Johnston. He's got it.
Play action this time. Penix fires, and it is complete.
He's still working his way back into condition as he goes down low. Really good coverage by New England, but a better catch and the vision of him being able to haul.
Penix throwing end zone. London, great catch. 2nd of the day. And the Falcons with some huge momentum late in the first half.
And that gave London the opportunity, and look where the ball is. Go up and get it.
Playing their regular defense, but trying to disguise their looks.
Only about 5 yards away from McPherson's field goal range. Flacco puts a nail under it, far side. Higgins
Spiro, this is just nasty. That's just nasty work out there.
We've seen 3 different Bears attempt to pass in this game, including DJ Moore, who threw a touchdown pass earlier. Now Williams puts some air under it. Perfect touch. Locates Moore.
7 fumbles for May this year. He has lost 2 of them. Taking a shot along the sideline for Douglas. And a great adjustment by Douglas to come back for the ball.
Pop Douglas at 5'8", bodying off Mike Hughes to keep him from the football, because Hughes has a chance to make a play on the ball.
With the play clock winding down, he sees something, looking for Johnston, makes the shoulder grab, off shoulder grab, he got it.
Or you throw a back shoulder fade to Quentin Johnston. Baker had pretty good coverage. Credit Johnston for the adjustment there.
Flacco looking end zone near side. Higgins with the catch. Higgins, they're going to mark him shy of the end zone. Inside the 1.
The question when he rolled.
And now they're saying touchdown.
Right.
Carrier and getting 11 guys to the ball on each and every snap.
On second down, Penix. Oh, what a catch with one hand! Bijan Robinson with one for the highlight reel. A first down.
Down by 1 touchdown. Has Marcus Jones on his back and goes up and just hauls that thing in.
Penix trying a deep shot, looking for London. Flag is down. London makes the catch.
Gonzalez has given him trouble the entire game.
Illegal contact. Defense number 0. The penalty is declined as a result of the play as a first down.
It wasn't much contact, but it was beyond the 5-yard zone. But even more important to me, Jason, look at London, who said, okay, you've been winning the majority of these battles today. It's time for me to win one.
Penix on 4th down, looking for London. And did he bring it in? Yes! What a catch! Actually brought this one in. 1 foot 2. Wow.
A couple good returns. A blocked field goal would set up their last field goal. Lions need this. Goff throwing for Jameson Williams. He's got it! Diving to the end zone. Is he in?
Bye week. The ruling has been changed to a touchdown.
One-on-one with Rodgers. Goff knows it.
3rd down. 1st down would win it. McCarthy throwing it. Naylor! Oh, he caught it!
Naylor on Mollett. They run basically a pick rub. Enough space to the outside part of the field. And the second-year quarterback, when they need him the most, that's the 2 ball. The little accuracy over the top with the little touch. Right into the hands of Naylor. What a throw.
Flacco's got the experience. No need to spike the football. Run a play right here.
Bears rush 4. Flacco going for it. Higgins with another all-world snatch. On the upper part of Higgins' torso. What a catch.
More than 2 plays and get your field goal unit on the field if this ball is completed or the clock is running.
Williams slings it. Williams. Loveland bangs off his man. He's going to score. Home. Colston Loveland.
Nakua in motion from the 49. Stafford fires downfield. It is caught. Touchdown. Puka Nakua.
This is outstanding. Matthew Stafford, that big arm I talked about, outside the numbers, places it perfectly for Puka, who gets behind Kool-Aid McKinstry. Notice how late Puka put his arms out. There was no way for Kool-Aid to make a play on that football. He just didn't know when it was going to land.
Smith throws for the end zone. A one-handed grab. Brock Bowers, they're saying no, out of bounds. Boy, just to catch that ball was amazing, and then to keep his body in.
The one-on-one, and not to push off. You see, he didn't extend there. He just pulled away.
Leading rusher despite his low output last week against Pittsburgh's tough defense. Now Jones takes a shot into double coverage. End zone. Warren, the rookie. Beg your pardon, it's Pierce. Pierce leaping for the touchdown.
Hold just a little bit. Little pull there in the quarters coverage, and you go up over the top to Alex Pierce. And as I said,
he's lined up inside now. He'll rush inside. He'll rush on the edge. McCarthy on third down, floating it up for Naylor, and he drops a dime. Naylor with a move and a stiff arm, still on his feet. Another stiff arm and down inside the 5. Alohi Gilman saves a touchdown.
Trust the plan. Be patient at the start of the game. We're going to create an opportunity for you to get downfield at some point, and when we do take advantage of that, that was an outstanding throw.
Patrick Ricard, the fullback, lining up in front of Henry. Off play action over the middle. Good catch. Sliding down. That ball tried to sneak out the back door on Zay Flowers.
If they get one-on-ones, looks like Will might have one up top.
Lawrence, he will fire back of the end zone. It's handled. Parker Washington. Fantastic grab for the touchdown.
That second foot down, it looks like he might have. Incredible job going up for the ball. 1 foot. 2. Wow. What a job tapping that right foot. This will be a great angle at it.
Ironically, he played for Penn State, not Indiana.
Wow.
The effectiveness of the run is less impactful than marrying the two together.
Down the sideline, Dart's throw is caught by Slayton. One-handed catch from Darius Slayton. How in the world did he do that?
I can tell you that ball is hard as a rock. It's slick. It's cold.
Over their last couple of games as they get the football now to Gabriel from the Jets 22. Play action. Gabriel gonna go for it all to the end zone, and it is caught.
Caleb Williams and Dart have both been excellent on the move.
Now he wants Johnson down the seam, and he's got him again. Theo Johnson, who's had some issues with drops this year, with a couple nice catches.
3rd and 6. He has a moment for Olave. Oh, what a one-handed grab, but turning. Let's see. There's a flag.
I mean, this is, I mean, you want to talk about straight courage and understanding. Hey, you didn't stack on that.
Jones looks, throws. So he held on. Kittle held on for a first down. Penalty 2.
All over him is an understatement. Works up, tries to get outside of him, and another dive and catch.
Pass interference. Defense, number 3. The penalties decline. Results the play, the first down.
And I've become a couple of their boogeymen so far today. They scored on the goal line here. They're getting in the red zone. See if they can do it with the 2-point conversion.
Mills. They will to Collins. He's got it. What kryptonite.
Josh Hines-Allen yesterday told us this is a battle of our D-lines. Ours versus theirs. And the better D-line's going to win.
Oh, what a catch by Collins.
Great coverage by the Jaguars. They have 2 people on him. He's sandwiched. And Davis Mills.
Mills. Hooks a pass. Back in the end zone. Caught. Touchdown. Dalton Schultz. Walking the tightrope.
And he goes up and grabs it. They say throw the ball low on the goal line and high on the end line. That way only your man can get it. And this is that concept executed to perfection. That ball's either going to Dalton.
McCarthy to the back of the end zone. It's Naylor reaching out. He got his feet in. It's a touchdown.
Really developed some really good chemistry. Look at the drag there. That's
2nd down and 9. Mariota fires downfield, and it is caught. Jalen Lane, 41-yard connection.
And what you like is Jalen Lane. He's been having to fill in for the injuries. The 4th-round pick. Love the deep ball.
4th down and 5. Mariota's pass is caught by Samuel for a Commanders first down.
That's spectacular. Nice catch, Deebo Samuel.
Here we go, shotgun time on 4th and goal to close out the first half.
Motion, throw to him quickly.
Looking that way, throws it, end zone, digs, did he get the feet down? Yes, he did! Touchdown, New England!
Toe tap. Diggs is having a game, and 1, 2, and how aggressive. Does he hold on? Gutsy decision throw, but what a catch. That's 2 players making an incredible play.
Picture perfect.
He had 43 yards all night. He gets 41 there, the longest play of the game on either side. Shoulder, pump fake, end zone. It is caught for the touchdown, Devontae Smith.
Ferry's one-on-one on the safety, Evan Williams, and it's a ball that's just a slightly underthrown.
I was going to throw it back down to you for that. Yeah, here comes Gainwell in motion on a 2nd down and 8. He gets the pass, a one-handed grab, a block by Metcalf.
Passes. Did he hang on? Down around, that's Okonkwo.
Well,
Great catch.
Yeah, inside leverage by the defender. That was 25 miles. Bryant, you see them just...
But he is a guy that you really want on the field, especially in 3rd and long.
Herbert protected. Herbert puts him there under it, and it is caught. Boy, that's a Hall of Fame catch.
I mean, how much time does Herbert have in that pocket? Just a great catch, great hands, as good as it gets. But you look at this route, and this is just a scramble drill. And in any DB, I don't care if you're Deion Sanders.
Jamar Chase, just 1 catch so far, 3rd and 6. Brown the block. Here's a nice one-handed catch by Chase, 1st down. And he was tripped up finally by Porter into the secondary.
Well, Chase comes out like he's going to hit T.J. Watt, and then he just slips him and gets up the field. Really well-designed play there, catching him in man coverage. Nobody in the middle there for Chase Brown as he makes a nice one-handed catch to convert.
3 timeouts, minute 35. Young down the middle, McMillan. Great catch into space, Tataroa McMillan, the rookie out of Arizona. And then he makes a play. We'll see if he does it here again.
Get the heart rate up a little. Blitz is coming. Williams gets rid of it here, and Adunze diving effort. Great catch. And he gets up now, not touched. And he's surging forward. Still going is Adunze.
Look at this effort. Good decision, kind of a quick throw.
Trey Lance on in relief of Herbert, and he's nearly sacked. Lance somehow keeps his balance and fires and completes. What a play by Lance.
Another 3rd and long for Green Bay. 5th body coming for the Giants' pressure. Love with time. Waving receivers around. Off the back foot, he launches it downfield, and it's caught by Savion Williams. The rookie comes up huge on 3rd and long.
Yeah, watch this. Might have gotten away with a... I guess they were just kind of hand fighting. It looked like he might have gotten away with a push off there, but tell you what, great.
Love on a high snap. Floats it. Watson up top. It is caught! Touchdown Packers! Green Bay's got the lead.
Tough snap. Jordan Love is able to handle that. He's throwing to the field. He likes his matchup with Christian Watson, but especially throwing into that corner. I mean, that's basically dead in the teeth of the wind. He cuts it right through the wind. He loves it. That's what I'm talking about.
Nice one-handed snare. Got a block on the play from McCormick. Swerving inside the 10. Tackled by Battle.
Perfectly set up and perfectly executed. Watch when you get out in space. Now freeze it right when he catches. You're going to see the lane here. There is nobody there for him to go as he's just going to take off down the field. Great job of execution and timing. Gainwell able to get in the open field.
You're the Vikings offense. You're thinking score a touchdown. There's not thinking about your defense too much.
No doubt. Here's McCarthy. Looking, firing, end zone, it is caught! Touchdown!
Nahshon Wright just doesn't expand with the motion. He gets caught up with Justin Jefferson, and JJ throws a fastball.
Francisco bringing just 4. Brissett hit as he throws, looking for Wilson on the sideline. What an adjustment and what a catch by Michael Wilson.
You need your guys to step up and make plays. We've talked about how big this possession was. Jacoby Brissett going for the big play.
Number 21, defense. Penalties declined. Second down. Stafford wants Nakua again. Makes the adjustment, and he's inbounds. Back-to-back plays by Puka Nakua. This one for 20 yards.
With his right toe. Watch this. He knows where he is. See how he just stubs that toe down into the ground? That is like teach tape around the league. You draft a young offensive lineman like Zabel, because he's about as good as a young lineman we've seen in years.
Here's the fade. Looking downfield for Smith and Jigba, who plucked it with one hand. JSN.
There's the first deep ball connection of the game against Darius Williams outside. And tell you what, they're the best deep ball connection in.
From the 19. He's going to roll out and throw on the run, and it's Worthy making a nice catch.
The rollout smash concept where you got a hitch in a corner and Mahomes throws it high and away on purpose. And what a catch by Worthy extending.
Yeah, grabbed it by the fingernails. Ogletree in motion. Jones looking up top. Throws back in the end zone. Are the feet down? Yes!
All 3 tight ends catch a pass on this drive. And does he get the second one? Yes, he does.
I mean, he's on this Seahawks team. Not a lot of stats this year, but really a great asset that they've brought in.
Darnold with time, going up top for Jackson Smith, and Jigba drops it in the bucket, and he will backpedal for a touchdown.
So you've got JSN going up against the safety. That's what you want. You're done. You're in trouble right there. He's on top of you, and a really good throw and really well played. I like the way the hand is up a little bit.
Empty backfield, 3rd down and 8. As Winston throws to the end zone, it is caught for a touchdown.
Left foot down, knee down. Oh, yeah, that's a touchdown. That is a nice job. Isaiah Hodgins, I mean, does it get any better than that? Can he fly in?
He's got Taj Brooks as his running back. And outside they go. Josivas, did he get it? Josivas using some of those track and field All-America credentials that he earned at Princeton.
Playing outstanding football for them.
On 1st and goal, it is Gibbs, reaches across, touchdown.
And just like that, the Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs, crosses the pylon before he goes out of bounds. That is a touchdown, and how easy it is for this Lions offense to score touchdowns.
2nd and 10. Winston fires,
What a
and
catch.
it is caught.
There are going to be 2 guys on him, and it allows for Jameis Winston to survey the defense. What a throw and catch. That was beautiful.
Now both those guys down.
Henderson the back, low the block, 2nd and 6, and caught by Hollins.
Up around his neck that time.
Kansas City's been incredible on 4th down as well. 5 down, 5 down. Here we go. Someone's got to win one-on-one.
Mahomes passes, and it's caught. What a catch by Rice. Now spins around Ward and falls at the 25.
You have a great stunt. You're going to loop around, rush this, but guess what? Here comes Rice across the field. Wasn't the easiest catch, but Mahomes throws it a little soft so he can actually make it. And Rice is incredible with the rack, run after catch. And I think right there.
Giants need a touchdown from the 41. The fake to Tracy. And then Winston throws. It's Theo Johnson, the tight end.
Let's see if he comes down with it. Nice reception, nice hands. Theo Johnson, left leg down, right leg inbounds.
You know, a lot of these initial snaps have been heavy personnel.
Cousins under pressure is able to get out of it, looking for Darnell Mooney, and he makes the grab.
As you can tell, a lot of this early game plan has been run the football, but then you bring the play action. Really nice catch by Darnell Mooney. Just plucking that thing right off the turf.
Force Aaron throws.
you got to do when you play this much zone defense.
Eagles need to get to the 40. Hurts loading up, going deep. Devontae Smith comes back and gets it.
Sometimes you run routes at the sticks, and sometimes you just stutter and run right by the defender who's kind of thinking they're going to try to pick up the first down. Instead, he blows right by Carson.
They've got Mostert in the backfield. He's in motion out of the backfield. Smith looking to his right, and he's got his man. What a catch by Lockett.
That is a beautiful throw and catch. Right foot down, left foot down, not bobbling it. That is incredible.
Eagles show blitz, movement. I don't see a flag. Third down, Prescott going to launch it, going deep. CeeDee Lamb makes the catch.
One-on-one with DeJean on the outside. A little hand fighting.
Pass interference. Defense number 33. Penalty declined. He's on the play. First down.
Yeah, Dak loved that matchup from the beginning.
Play action, Lawrence to the end zone. Lawrence finding Washington with a surgical pass.
Garrett Williams, who has just played a great game today.
Because they can play in space and they got a nose for the football.
There's a high school wide receiver in Winston-Salem as well. Shuck maneuvering, stopping, throwing a dangerous pass, and that was nearly picked by Watts. It may have been grabbed at the last moment by Vele. That last play by Vele ripped it away from the rookie Watts.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Watts, both these safeties.
Prescott has some time, loading up, going deep, Pickens. He's got it! Oh, come on!
Just throw it as high and as far as you can. Brown's trying to come over to help, but he's late, and Pitt goes.
This is Davante Adams territory. Red zone and inside the 10. Adams, touchdown. Just like that, great field position and about as easy of a drive to open a game as Matthew Stafford has had.
This off and outside technique right here, and he's just going to slide right inside. It's an RPO.
Shotgun for Jones. 9 minutes to go in this first half. Jones. Float it. End zone! Pierce has got it! Touchdown! Indianapolis!
The big playability of Pierce. He's a downfield threat and just continues to show up for this Indianapolis Colts offense.
Saw a whole lot of Taylor on the last 2 drives for Indianapolis. Jones wants to throw it. He will. High throw, and it's handled by Pierce. Goes up the ladder to catch it.
Then you have Pierce running a deep in cut across the middle, and Daniel Jones hits him. Daniel Jones started 1 for 5 with 2 yards in the passing game. Since then, he's 5 for 5.
And dealing with it in cold weather can't feel good.
One timeout, 1st and 10, going deep into the wind and looking for Kittle. Broken up on the play. Hickman.
Oh, they're calling catch.
They're going to call the catch.
And then ripped out at the end.
Things inside 2 minutes review. There is Kittle, got the ball, knee down.
He's down, yeah, that's a catch.
Great catch by Kittle.
Right now, a 7-point game, 6 minutes to go in the third. Jones steps up. Jones downfield, over the shoulder, Josh Downs. Wow. Texans believe he was out of bounds, and the Texans get to him right away.
That is just incredible concentration and ability from Downs. Daniel Jones, obviously with a lot of trust.
Facility will tell you that. We'll drop that time, though. 2nd and 10. Gainwell, what a catch that was. Off the shoestrings, and away he goes.
That was incredible.
Down to the 9-yard line.
That was incredible. This ball's going to be low. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That was next level.
I'd take a shot at the end zone.
Gino looking to take that shot. Bowers is down there at the 5. Good call, Jason McCourty. It's 1st and goal for Vegas, a 24-yard gain.
Seen so far is Brock Bowers lined up in that tight end position. We said it earlier, not as out as wide as much, and he's been able to make them pay down the field on opportunities. This is a good catch. DB's hand is right in the pocket as Cam Hart right.
Second and goal, blitz coming. Gino gets rid of it, incomplete. Oh, wait a minute! Bowers caught it! You gotta be kidding me! It looked like Gino was throwing that one to the turf, and Bowers with one arm brings it in.
Wow. It was so good, the crowd's not even booing the call. They're just watching. The ball never touches. And even if it had, he had control as he brought it in. Watch as he brings it in right there. That tip of the ball doesn't even touch.
A lot of communication on defense. You wonder if they're trying to orchestrate the pressure.
They do. Stafford throws to Nakua, and he holds on and gets away for a first down.
That's the second one of these strong-handed catches in a row with Nakua. You know, he throws it behind him, and Nakua just reaches back and plucks this thing, and more so than anything, just his ability to break tackles. He's just got such lower body strength and can just step out of those.
Stafford floats it. Nakua's the target! Oh! Puka Nakua! Absolutely ridiculous to set up first down and goal.
This playmaker's making plays. And look, Mike Jackson is in a perfect position here. He doesn't bite on the double move. I mean, this is textbook as far as the technique that you would teach the corner. But you can't teach that.
Unreal from Puka Nakua. He got up after that and added 4 more yards to what is one of the best catches you will see.
Mariota to the back. Oh, he caught it! Burks! Unbelievable touchdown! Insane stuff!
Over the edge of the ball to stop that thing. Hold off the defense. Stop it! That's insane.
Bills don't blitz a ton. They got everybody up at the line of scrimmage here on third down. They bring 5. Burrow hit as he throws, a juggle and a catch and a first down.
Watching these routes, watch all the small steps. You see everyone just trying to find their way, the footing.
Ali is the running back. Rasheen Ali saw a lot of action against Cincinnati as they were playing catch-up. Lamar going deep. He's got Flowers open, and he makes the catch. Field stands, a 31-yard catch by Zay Flowers.
Not enough movement of the ball, even though it just moves a little. It's still saying he kept control.
Sample and Brown both in the backfield by Burrow. 4-man rush, able to break through, but he gets rid of it, and a perfect strike and a catch from Mike Gesicki.
This is what Gesicki does best, this time aligned on the nickelback Johnson, and it's his ability to go up, Joe, and high point the ball. He's a great hands catcher. The radius that Joe Burrow knows he can place that ball. Not only is he 6'5", but he's long. He can jump, and he's a hands catcher. I can't stress that enough in a league where everybody wants to catch the ball with their body.
Or Quinshon Judkins. Sanders to throw, floats for the end zone. Catch me, diving. Perfect. He had to extend to haul that in, and Darrell Baker Jr., they're beat up in the secondary, but he's the Titans' best cover guy.
33-yard penalty right there. Makes it first down and goal. Burrow looking end zone. First read taken away. Throwing to the pylon. A diving catch inside the 1 for Chase Brown.
By Burrow and Allen are just remarkable. I mean, I'll tell you what, that might be a touchdown.
I'm with you. Really close.
Let's see. This will be a great shot.
Wow.
Yeah, if he maintains control all the way through, that ball definitely broke the plane. The question.
2nd and 12. Cousins looking for Pitts, and he drops it in. What a catch!
I tell you, this is a great matchup right here. This is athletic freak versus athletic freak. And remember we talked on that opening drive. Kyle Pitts has got to make those plays when they're there. Great job on this one. Watch him extend. Look at those arms. He catches the back end of the football. Awesome job, Kyle Pitts.
throw for Gesicki. Perfect strike and a one-handed catch.
To take, ideally, you'd love to get a score on the plus side of the 2-minute. Give yourself 2 opportunities to stop the clock. So
you need more than just a third down conversion, though, quickly. Down 2 scores. Into the blitz, wants T. Higgins. He's got him. Higgins fights through contact for the touchdown. Second one of the day, and T. Higgins returned from the injury.
He looked at T. Higgins. He saw something pre-snap that he liked and just said, hey, go run right by him. You see Tre'Davious Red, he's kind of waiting at the sticks, thinking it's going to come out fast. And now Cincinnati's going to elect to go for 2 here.
180, what's that?
From the Rams 37, the fake to Knight, and it is caught. McBride again.
You had another wide receiver. He's running on the outside of Trey McBride, so Emmanuel Forbes is not able to close in on Trey McBride. He had to honor the other receiver.
His left, protected, lofts one deep. It is caught. Luke Musgrave, full extension.
Ball was up there a long time. Brisker in coverage, fully lays out. Tucker Kraft style.
10th play of this drive. Stafford, end zone, caught, touchdown, Parkinson.
Play fake, Williams, looking, throwing, it is caught, touchdown! Oh, Olamide Zaccheaus!
I like the idea of getting Caleb outside of the pocket. He's been so dangerous all day. Drops it down barely through the arms of Nixon in coverage and finds Zaccheaus. What a catch, what a great camera angle. Sidearm delivery through Nixon's arms and then finds Zaccheaus from the pylon cam.
Huge game for the Rams next week, hosting the Detroit Lions. Brissett to the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown, Wilson. His second today.
Not all games still a positive, right? So there are players you can work with, and that is a very nice throwing.
Williams senses, steps away, looking, fires, caught!
I'm again escaping to his right. He's done this all day. Finds Duvernay down the.
Kelsey in motion, 3rd and 5. Everybody crossing in the middle. Mahomes looking for anything. Can't find anyone. In trouble. Flag down. The pass is ruled a catch. So it is ruled a catch, so it goes from the end. It is grab and twist. There's one finger doing the grabbing and twisting, but that still counts. And tack it on to what was 2nd and 3. Burrow lofting end zone. Higgins, did he get his feet in? He did. Touchdown Bengals. That he got his feet in. Let's see if he can even tell.
All right, well, between quarters, they came out with the blowers. Yeah, I think as long as, yeah, it looks like that right toe is still kicking up some snow. I think he's in. This perimeter passing game, especially contested catches. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, best duo in the league, winning 50-50 balls, and there's another great example for T. Higgins.
Yeah, look at the wheels. Lawrence going to take a shot downfield, and it's hauled in. What a grab by Thomas. Stride for stride, Ward was there. A brilliant catch, 39 yards.
Wow. Watch this. You can't blame the coverage. That's fantastic coverage by Mooney Ward. Just an incredible ball and an even better catch.
Sanders fires for the end zone. Open! Leaping up and grabbing it.
Great throw, great catch. One-on-one coverage. What do we say? You give him man-to-man, he's going to beat you. That's on Woods. High point the ball. Strong hands. Beautiful throw, and there is no defense for the perfect throw. Touchdown.
I mean, he showed.
Motion man is Diggs, the former Bill. May up top, extending out. Wow. And tremendous grab What a catch by Booty!
Regardless, very smart of them and very situationally aware. It looks like he kept both feet in bounds.
The last couple weeks, though, even this has disappeared. 1 for the last 4 in the red zone. Hurts throwing outside. Devontae Smith with a diving catch. A little bit short, though.
Here's if they take a look. I actually feel like in that replay, it did look like when he caught it.
Play clock is down under 5. Play clock at 1. Cook in the pocket toward the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Adonai Mitchell. The first NFL touchdown pass for Brady Cook.
Boy, this is awesome. Watch Breece Hall go out in the flat. That takes the defender out there. So Adonai Mitchell goes on the skinny post.
And they're trying to win the division today here against the Bills. May steps up, fires it downfield. Terrific hands by Hollins. First down, Patriots. He snagged it for 18.
Puts it where only his guy can get it, but Mac Hollins, all the credit for the catch.
So big moment here for Lamar Jackson. Baltimore's offense, 60-plus seconds, all 3 timeouts at their disposal. Jackson puts some air under it, and it is incomplete. Zay Flowers, well, he caught it. Flowers makes the catch. 24, he had the drop earlier that was intercepted, and what a catch here to atone for the Ravens.
That is an unbelievable adjustment.
Minimal wind, as we talked about. You just saw Dicker warming up. The running back is Vidal. And Herbert to the air. Here comes Jones, and the pass caught. Harris caught the ball at the 25 of the Chiefs. He is down. And Herbert.
First, it starts with, that's an incredible catch. And he's able to bring it in. McConkey had a punt return that he let go because he couldn't completely see it.
Idell the back, 3rd and 3, Herbert. Here comes Karlaftis, and to the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Grabbed on the play by Lambert Smith.
Maybe even better because he steps up in the pocket. Watch him as he secures it, gets both feet down.
On second down, it trips to the bottom. He's looking for Etienne, and Etienne with the diving grab. Touchdown, Jaguars.
So much good stuff. Watch Etienne. He was going in motion, sliding. That showed Lawrence it was man-to-man coverage. And as soon as Lawrence saw it was man-to-man coverage.
The other receiver to the top of the screen.
Here's Dart looking, fires to the end zone. It is caught.
And here's Tyrone Tracy, and you're going to watch the wheel route that he runs on Bobby Wagner. And that is how you expose the 10-time Pro Bowler Bobby Wagner.
From the 22 on first down, Williams on the roll, directing traffic to the end zone. He throws, and it's DJ Moore, his 2nd of the day.
On Monday, when Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams go over this play, because this is such a no, I can't believe you, yes.
They need to get to the 42. From the gun, deep drop. Allen hooks a pass, and it's a battle with a flag down. Shakir and Marcus.
Shakir comes back for the ball and kind of works through Jones.
Over 200 yards passing is Jacoby Brissett for the end zone. Turning around, did he hang on?
Well, look at Wilson coming off this back shoulder fade. I mean, Lassiter is all over him. You want to talk about sticky coverage?
So clock running down to the final 4 minutes. And the Ravens business like knew they had to get here, get a win as Chase makes the catch here to keep first down Cincinnati, a pickup of 12.
Well, he's gotten his catches and he's gotten his yards, but this secondary really hasn't been able to.
They hit these holes and they hit them hard.
On the play fake, Stafford looking deep. Far side, Adams goes up and gets it. Oh, Devontae Adams with the ups.
Another little post corner, sticks the post move, back to the corner, read in coverage. And those are hard throws.
2nd and 6. Rush of 4 for New Orleans. Young to the sideline and a tough toe tap.
Oh, wow. You're going to watch Jalen Coker run this vertical route, and it turns into a back shoulder. And we always say, make sure you don't stop too soon.
Is the record 55 coming in.
Two tight ends.
Got to do it in 16 games.
I agree 100% because they're going to have that extra game. Here's Love's throw. Wide open. Diving with the catch is Musgrave.
Could have gotten another 30 yards, but watch. He's going to go guard him right here. And what a route by Musgrave to make Ufunga literally go.
That's why they're going on 4th and long.
More man coverage.
Blitz again. Stafford rifles it near side. Nakua, great catch. And it's a first down for Puka.
Stafford lining up with Robertson. Nakua on the outbreaker. Not a great.
On the play fake now. Stafford with time. Loading up. Going deep down the field. Puka Nakua. He's got it.
Off that blaze out move. Stafford drops it right in the bucket. Nakua.
I don't think he did, so the call is correct, even though it might not look like it to the naked eye.
Second down for Chuck. He'll throw it downfield. Oh, what a grab by Vele.
Devon Vele, we call this a dagger route. When you have a 6'5" receiver, you can throw it up to him. Watch how he goes up and whoop, high points it.
Taysom Hill in the game in the slot at the top of your screen. Chuck looking that direction, and he threw it behind Johnson, who caught it to himself. That is a ridiculous catch.
And to have the focus, one hand, tip it to yourself, contact, balance. My man is a star on TikTok. He's also a star.
He's going to get maybe a series, maybe a couple plays. We'll see. Here's Scott. Pressure. He steps away and then floats one. Oh, come on! On the rough. St. Brown trying to beat everyone. That was unreal.
St. Brown evading the man at the line of scrimmage, then gets into the defense. Not the first window, not the second window, all the way to the third window.
Could be a screen right here. I might run something fast.
Love looking downfield, lofting to the end zone. It's Jacobs with the catch. Oh, my goodness. What a grab by the running back.
But this is not a wide receiver. This is a running back. 1, 2. That is a touchdown.
Stafford now going to float one far corner. Brought in and caught for the touchdown.
It would have been 4th down had it been ruled an incompletion, and it likely would have been a punt. Instead, because of the fumble, Cam Ward gets the ball at the +45 and takes a deep shot downfield, and it is held up. And he paid the price for a 43-yarder.
Guy steps on the toes of the corner. He gets past him. He's wide open. But here's where you come back
to elevate himself into, if he continues this for a long time, that's the type of player he is.
Stafford in trouble. Stands up, delivers a strike, and it's, what, did he catch that? No, it's out of bounds. Tutu Atwell. Let's see. What do we got? Oh my goodness.
3rd and 7. Rivers down the sideline, adjustment and catch by Pierce.
Downfield, which is your forte. But how about the improvement of Alec Pierce in his career to do more than be a big play?
He's the guy who deserves more playing time. On 3rd down, got it to DK Metcalf. And fighting his way for the touchdown. Another one to the end zone, and a jump ball that's caught by Waller. And it was, if they're not going to call PI, it was really good coverage.
It was a key decision, a key factor in his decision making, and this is where Ewers can show what he can do.
1st down, 3rd down, he's faced, little pump fake, and completes. Gets it to Darren Waller in the face of pressure.
Well, he saved it because he had a little bit of indecision. He had the first window open, and for some reason he didn't trust himself. And then he scrambles, gets outside.
It gives up sacks, and it's really problematic for this offense.
So these 2nd down and 7 plays are big. Shot down the field, end zone. It is held on to by Johnston for the touchdown.
Throwing for the end zone, Mike Evans. Touchdown, that's a Buccaneer touchdown.
15th touchdown career-wise versus the Carolina Panthers by Mike Evans.
But now he's got to try to navigate 3rd and about 7.
fires near side, and it is Waller.
Plays in those touchdowns, and it took him a long time to really get going in last week's game. He ended.
Kevin O'Connell telling us we've played good complementary football over the last 2 weeks. As McCarthy fires.
Wow.
Going up against his former teammate at LSU, Cordell Flott.
I'm watching both feet, right down, left down.
5 guys on the line, right? Yep. There it is. Herbert off the play fake, stepping up, climbing the pocket, taking a shot. Johnston! He held on. He is inbounds for the catch, down inside the 25 of Dallas.
We need to cage rush this guy. In other words, like keep him in the pocket. Unfortunately, you allow him that lane to step up and throw this ball. Now I would say this Malik Hooker, just get your...
But, been very efficient in terms of what they've been able to do offensively.
Spears the back, 3rd and 4. And a block by Martin. There's a great catch on the far side.
3rd and a yard. Young, it looks like he's going to throw, and he will. And McMillan turned just in time.
That's it, eat. And that is, that's picture perfect. Facing the blitz off the edge, standing in pocket as tall as you can when you're 5'10".
But I would agree with Chase Brown. I think it's a whole lot to do with nothing, and we're going to see a great version of Joe Burrow next season.
Burrow fires down the field. Boy, they had to come back for it.
Vikings have won the last 5 in the regular season against the Giants. Brosberg on 3rd down. Jefferson. Minnesota 1st down and a gain of 22.
What a catch. Now let's see if he actually maintained possession. He's dragging that left foot for sure.
3rd down, Brissett. He loads up to launch. Down the sideline, into coverage, and incomplete. Kobe Bryant on the coverage of Wilson.
The question is, did the ball hit the ground before it bounces onto Michael Wilson's chest? I think this is a catch.
I think
that's a touchdown.
It looked like it rang around and just balled around his body.
3rd and 3. Lawrence floating for the end zone. Washington with the catch.
The only place that it's going to be completed. That is excellent coverage by Jaquan McMillan.
Lawrence looking for Strange to the end zone. Diving catch.
It's just an angle route going to the outside. PJ Locke, number 6, is in coverage. It's inside coverage. Look at the location.
A 1st and 10 near the 20. Lions go to the end zone and caught. What a catch!
Watch right here. You've got to get between him and the safety and go up the seam. And you'll see the timing of the throw has to be perfect, and Tesla has to make a great bang-bang catch. Half of his receptions have basically gone for touchdowns this year. Oh, you got one-on-one outside, linebacker on Gainwell.
Rodgers off his back foot, throws it down the way, and a flag's coming out on Anzalone. And look at Gainwell. Gainwell thinks he has the touchdown.
This is the football.
Jim, I'm pretty sure you said earlier, who's got the best hands on this team?
34.
Gainwell. Gainwell. And he showed it right here. It was from Mike Tomlin, who told us that meeting with him on Friday. Just look at this. He's going to get the flag anyway, and just got to his feet. Presence of mind. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Rodgers goes to the sideline, and guess what? It's Scotty Miller again.
You've been through your career.
Down, yes.
This is 3rd down, but look at the toe tap.
Let's see if they run it to use clock or if they pass and go for the win. On 3rd down and 8, Stroud back to throw. Taking a deep shot again for Collins. Adjustment! Was he in bounds? Yes! Collins delivers!
On 1st down, 4-man rush, May protected, looking deep, taking that shot downfield. It is held on to by Stephon Diggs.
Well, and Diggs is one of those guys that is just so good. One of the leading contested catch guys in the National Football League. He is just hyper competitive.
That's Ramondre Stevenson, more experience there to pick up what he needs to. He gets out of there. May in the middle, high, brought down by Hollins.
So they don't blitz. Same thing they did when they threw the interception. But watch everybody drop out here, but no rush. There's no rush. And the route that they ran that time takes forever to get someone up the field that far and across. So the lack of a pass rush that's been sort of haunting these Ravens all year.
Against Pittsburgh. So 3rd and 5. Here comes the pressure. It's picked up. Huntley's throw. Sideline Hopkins. Did he bring it in? No. Ruled out of bounds and incomplete. It was not 6-7. He was juggling out of bounds. Incomplete, they say. See when he secures.
Ball's in there.
The catch.
Let's call it catch. Now, 1-2.
Stevenson gets a break to Ernest Johnson, 7th-year veteran, former Raven, in the lineup. May taking a deep shot. Downfield towards Williams. He brought it in. That's a touchdown. That is Kyle Williams.
A little taste of what we saw all year, earlier in the year. Let's make sure everything was kosher. Yes, indeed, it was. Brilliant. And Kyle Williams, you hit on it. How about a guy averaging 28.5 yards a catch?
And now Joe Burrow and company begin at their own 9. Dolphins going to bring 4. Burrow step out of his own end zone, taking a shot near side. Higgins. Boy, all that athleticism.
Well, that's what you're going to get with T. Higgins in the game, and you see this every single time.
No points, just incredible. One of the reasons why they were shut out for the first time in a number of years. Burrow puts some air under it. Higgins, touchdown.
Oh, this is so good. I mean, so good. Left foot, drag with the right foot. I mean, you can't, there is nothing that Jack Jones could possibly do when you throw the ball in that position and with that kind of body control.
20 yards on the connection. First down play action. May firing from the tight end. It's brought in by Austin Hooper at the 1. So Hooper goes up to get it. His 17th grab of the year.
Austin Hooper, who's at least 6'4", 6'5", just back shoulder perfectly thrown. Good coverage by Gilman, but just a much better throw and catch.
Gain of 20.
Snowmobiles and everything else.
E-bikes.
Yeah. You name it. Purdy over the middle. Somehow Jennings makes that grab.
The best wide receiver combo, and then you talk about that trio with Yoshivach. They're going to find out how good they are this afternoon.
On 3rd and 10, there's Jamar Chase. He ripped it away from contact. Will Johnson.
Yeah, watch as he breaks across to the middle of the field. Look at Will Johnson playing underneath coverage. Again, the confidence and the chemistry that Joe Burrow has with Jamar Chase. There's not a lot of guys that are going to make that throw with that corner.
2nd and 10. Blitz again. Picked up. Rivers floating. Jarred out of there and then caught. Wow, Will Mallory.
Yeah, when the ball came out of Rivers' hands, I'm not sure it was going to get there in time. Eric Murray came and put a big hit on him, but just great concentration by Mallory. Initially lost it. Then he's going to the ground just to have the awareness to stick out that right hand and falls right in his lap.
And so 1st down at the 49.
He picks up Brady Cook this week, and Drake May right back to work. Under some pressure, launches for Diggs! Looking for the Moss, he got it!
All right, Moss, making him proud. Boy, what a play. These elite receivers, that ball goes in the air. They just go to another place. They're going to find a way to take that thing out of the air no matter where it is.
Coverage has been good, but they haven't been able to account for Trevor Lawrence as a scrambler.
And more of a cautious rush right here. Delivers for Washington, who's got it. Threads it through for 20 yards into a tight window.
All right, so this time they decide to use Latu as just he's the spy, so they only rush 3. They're just trying to keep Trevor Lawrence in the pocket, and that is a tight window throw. Parker Washington understands there's a hit coming. Accurate ball, great catch, and this is exactly what Indianapolis didn't want to do, right?
A lot of substitutions just took place there. Roy Ellison, the umpire, stepping in to allow them to finish.
Ward scrambling, throwing deep on the run, looking for Kinsey. Kinsey's got it! Mason Kinsey!
Are you not entertained, said Mason Kinsey. Oh, you know what I love most about this play? Two things. One, Ward getting out of the pocket and taking a chance with Mason Kinsey. And two, Kinsey understanding, I've got to move towards the middle of the field for this play to occur.
I gotta wonder if they got a play action of some sort. Every time he's under center, it's been a run. There you go.
First pass from under center, and Mo Alley-Cox makes the catch for the touchdown.
Yeah, so if you felt like it was coming, you'll see Mo Alley-Cox. They've been 100% run with Phillip Rivers aligned under center. 8 for 8 today. So they're on the 9th one. Play action pass, and that was an impressive drive.
A good one here on CBS with Jason McCourty, Charles Davis, A.J. Ross, our producer Steve McKee, director Andy Goldberg, our entire crew. I'm Andrew Catalan. Cam Ward on 3rd down and 9, spinning away. Chase Young's there, Granderson's there. Ward gets away, throws, and it's caught! Cam Ward!
To wreak havoc back there in the pass rush and give his secondary a chance. Alontae Taylor is there. Actually has a hand on the ball, but Io Manor stays with it. And that's one of the things you liked about Io Manor coming out of Stanford, what we call combat catches.
On 2nd and 10. Rodgers down the middle. Oh, it's caught! It's caught! Freiermuth has it!
Lawrence off his back foot, floats for Myers. Jacoby Myers makes the catch. Myers would go get it, and he did.
That's the best ball Trevor Lawrence has thrown all day.
Blitz is coming. Allen has it blocked up. Now gets hit as he throws. Taking a shot deep. It is!
Oh, my God.
Caught!
Not the guy you usually go after, Quinyon Mitchell, but Shavers goes up. Top shelf, and it just lands back in his chest. He's got those leather gloves on.
4-man rush this time. Allen thinking deep, launching deep, taking a shot. It is held on to it, caught! Brandon Cooks!
Oh my God, Cookie going up top shelf. The slight bubble, pressing it against his face mask on Epps. A ridiculous.
For the Falcons was to draft a quarterback. It was a rich quarterback draft last year. 3rd down and 2. Sills finds a hole in this defense. And a good second possession being put together by the Falcons as Sills is good for 20.
So that catch put McMillan over 1,000 yards in his rookie season. First to do so for this team since Kelvin Benjamin, also a first-round pick. From the pocket, Young looks end zone, jump ball, caught, touchdown, Jalen Coker. And the Panthers still have hope with 2:25 to play.
Throw the ball up high. How about the 2 plays by the receivers? McMillan and Coker.
Shifts to the other side on 3rd and 10. Stroud. The touch is there. Oh! A one-handed snare by Schultz. Tremendous grab for a first down.
Out in front of him. One hand out there. His defender fell down, got knocked around. We called him a safety blanket, but that's a whole lot more like a playmaker. Great start against the man-to-man.
Couple tight ends now for Myles Garrett. Chase was in the backfield. They dump it off and makes the one-handed grab. He is so athletic. He's got the first down.
He makes the great plays look easy. They line him up at running back, leak him out, catches that no problem, and falls forward. Such a great runner after the catch.
For the Saints offense, try to respond. Throwing for it, floating for the tight end, and a one-handed grab by Jawan Johnson. And that deserves a stare.
On the smash, and then they're going to run that fade ball to Johnson. And remember, man, he came out as a college free agent out of Oregon.
Jumbo package here, extra offensive lineman. Tim Patrick in motion. Lawrence looking for Patrick. Nice snare by the veteran receiver. And he's out of bounds inside the 10.
They're taking a while to get in and out of the huddle, but once they get up to the ball, Trevor Lawrence has been getting the ball snapped very quickly, trying to keep this defense.
Really well liked by his teammates. A lot of that came from sitting and watching and being part of the scout team. Protected well on the blitz and juggling. Did he? No, it is not a catch. He says he caught it. All right, so you and Mark agree. Let's see if the...
That's because we're both we both have the mentality of 8-year-olds. That's why.
You're right in my wheelhouse. I like hanging out with you guys at the seminar.
I know, exactly.
On second down, Burrow to throw again. Lofts it to his left for Higgins. One-handed grab. Touchdown Seasons.
6'4" with ball skills. We talked about how good he is with his hands. Hold the defender off with his right. All you need is one. That's good every day and on.
Stroud zips it to the sideline. Flag is down. Hutchinson, how did he catch it?
Catching this ball, he is going to end up out of bounds, but it's not going to matter because of the pass interference. But look at the concentration. Falling down one-handed with a...
Drake London in motion, bottom of your screen. Fake Cousins is looking for London, and he's got it! Reached over the defensive back to haul it in, and Quincy Riley.
What an unbelievable job by London, just high pointing this thing over the top. This is great coverage. I mean, great. As soon as he turns his head, London goes over the top of Quincy Riley, and look at him go high to grab that ball, secure it. That is an awesome catch.
And so that is going to take some strategic and creative planning by Adolfo Mensa and his staff in the offseason. Oh, what a catch by Ham. A one-handed snatch.
Certainly see, trying to bring somebody in that can push him, mentor him, compete with him, try to bring the best out of McCarthy.
Shuck for the end zone. In the corner. One-handed. That's a touchdown, Ronnie Bell. Wow. Amazing catch.
Amazing throw. Well, they had two close incompletions to Bell. Just time on task, but this time these two are connected. He just kind of slow plays it off and then explodes when he stacks the DB, Henderson, and that is a beautifully thrown ball.
The last time, get 128 yards on the ground. Stafford throws deflected and then caught in the perfect position to make the catch with Smith.
Now take a look. It was originally going to Mumfield. Mumfield actually doesn't even tip it. It looks like Jordan Burch tips it right into Xavier Smith's hands.
3rd down and 1. Bigsby is back there. The fake. And a block by the tight end, Latu, and downfield they got him. That's Smith. And he'll pick up on the play, 26 yards.
Penalty backs him up to a 3rd and 7. Pressure coming from the Dolphins. May protected behind Henry, who made a one-handed catch and got stopped right near the marker. Ashton Davis and Tyrell Dodson.
This Miami Dolphins team, they're going to pressure and blitz at one of the highest rates in the league. So it's the ability to get to Drake May before he can kind of undress your coverage, and he's able to get that ball to his check down. And, we've spent the whole first half talking about this passing game and an MVP quarterback, and then they get this ground game rolling early, and the cherry on top is, as you said, they have the ultimate luxury.
On 4th down, Stafford, end zone, Nikola, touchdown! What a catch!
This 50-50 ball against the rookie Denzel Burke. It's Burke's opportunity to see if he can get this coverage. If not, Puka goes with the one-handed grab.
It was Womack who went off for the Jets, so now it's 4th and goal. Trubisky has some time, throwing end zone. It is Gabe Davis.
Charles, you said he shows up when the lights are the brightest. Look at this catch. Jasir Taylor Play in the pocket, has his hands all in there. Gabe Davis, all hands catch, reaches out and snags that football. And when you make a touchdown catch like that, you can do whatever dance you want.
Everything that they need to do to get out there and stop the Cardinals.
On second down, it is Wilson. Michael Wilson makes the catch. 7-yard line of the Rams. Gain of 20.
Look at that. Drags it left. Man, he actually had 3 feet in there. Catches it. Left down. Drag the left again. Right down. That's beautiful.
3 tight ends in for the Cardinals. McBride with 3 catches today. And this pass to the end zone for DeGuara for a Cardinals touchdown.
Nate Landman on the coverage. He never looked back to play the football. Definitely has possession. I see the right foot down. I don't know if that left foot dragged. Oh, it did. Look at that. Oh, the toe is down. That is a touchdown.